Good morning again. Bet y'all didn't know Georgia had misty mountains. Well, misty foothills. Damp lumps. We used to have a lot more foothills till they started flattening them all out to put in, you know, very cheaply built houses that they're charging $300,000 to $400,000 for. But yeah, y'all, enjoy the scenery around you while you can. Eventually, it's all going to get turned into whatever corporate hell this shit's supposed to be. And for the record, I'm not hating on the workers. Construction workers is doing their job. It's the dumb and ugly realtor people that are setting this shit up to be like this that's, you know, gonna be ugly. But it's mostly gonna be ugly because they're not incorporating native wildlife. They're not taking into account the natural flow of the area. And they certainly aren't taking into account, you know, the environmental impact of what they're doing. At least it doesn't seem like they are. And again, that ain't the workers. That's the big bosses. Workers are just here from somewhere else, doing their best to make a living. But again, I don't know. I personally prefer my foothills, my wild lands, my fun animals. But I don't know. Maybe trash and hay and more cars than people is a good idea. I'm in the wrong here. Who knows? Y'all be good. Try to make a positive difference today where you can. Eventually I'll settle on a topic to actually talk about, but for now, I'm just, you know, let's stop expanding so much. And if we're going to expand, why not expand with people in mind? Build structures that are affordable for the lowest common denominator and build up from there. Build your plans, including nature, so you don't end up with weird little puddles and swamps and bogs where you're not expecting it. And above all else, stop taxing the land so much. Part of the reason this entire area is eroding so quickly is because they're not doing it in a very slow, methodical way. They're just ripping in here and ripping it up every day. Every day they can get in, they're ripping it up. And then, as soon as they can't get in due to the weather being foul, it floods through, stuff shifts, they lose actual ground. That wasn't always such a deep ravine over there. Used to. This area was fairly, minus the angle, it was fairly flat and easy to trot along. Nowadays, if I were to fall down here, I really don't know how well I would do. Because the ground slopes, then drops into the undercover there. And that area is more of a swamp than anything else nowadays. That's because all of their gray and wastewater comes washing down into that big retaining lake there, and then down through here it washes back into these warrens. And because they're all new houses, they got a ton of sprinkler systems wasting tons of water to try to grow sod and grass on the prim and primpered lawns rather than food or anything useful. And since you're just watering straw and mud on account of all the rainwater coming down, it basically all washes down through here. Like I said, y'all, cause and effect. Real thing. But this is a bit of a longer video. Y'all be good. Well, long for me, I suppose. Y'all be good. And we'll catch you here in a little bit. I call this the sea of grass because, minus where I've beaten other people, this grass is about hip deep most of the time. That's also because the city doesn't mow out here but maybe once a year. And then it only does it begrudgingly. Like I said, if city or county one, I don't care which, would actually put some of those tax dollars rather than fattening the wallets of our representatives, if they instead went to actually building the town up, imagine what we could do. If all the mega churches, instead of putting out their weird death cult, put money back into the community around them, imagine what we could do. All I ask of people, in the nicest way I can most of the time, is to just say, why don't we imagine a better world and build it? I don't know, y'all. Try to be good today. The main person I blame for this area being so shit, sod farm. I personally lay all the burden on the sod farms. Because what is a sod farm if not just a parasitic cunt of an organization? I mean, they're selling dead grass, well, basically dead grass. It grows like a carpet until it gets flooded, and then you got to replace it. And that's if you install it right. If you don't install it right, you're just going to have a nasty pit. So, why not instead of that, grow wild? I mean, our ditches clearly do. I don't know, y'all. Trying not to make it a negative day. Just trying to make it into town. And imagining what it'd be like if I were, say, a 40-year-old, a fucking kid trying to get to school or to town. Imagine how much fun they'd have walking through this. I'll let you see the skyline in a minute. But imagine how much fun they'd have. Oh, that one was sharp. Imagine how much fun they'd have walking through this, while every asshole in the county flies by at about 70 miles an hour, even though the speed limit's 50. Watch out for the passion fruit. Like I said, y'all, don't think negatively of us Southerners. We're also abused like hell by our state. The government hates us just as much as they hate you. Just some Southerners are stupid and hate brown people more than they hate the government. Because they stupid and they buy into that bullshit that, well, if we just didn't have so many immigrants, we'd treat y'all better. How many immigrants did we have at the time of slavery? Ignore that. How many immigrants did we have when y'all decided to crack open Vietnam protesters' heads? Ignore that. Okay, how many protesters? That's the point. They're going to constantly sell you on immigrants and population, and it ain't. It's basically people. Any one of these people could make everyone else's lives better just by being a little bit more caring, a little bit more empathetic to each other. They're not gonna, but it's nice to think. And not every American is a soulless husk. I've met a few out here that are actually good folks doing what they can for the sake of good, not for any hidden motive. And again, who knows? Maybe they have hidden motives and I'm just too stupid to detect them. I just know that what we have is unsustainable. And what I'm doing is not nearly enough. I mean, what the fuck's the point of that? They're gonna have to raise that up, right? Or are they just gonna drop the rest of the road down to meet that? And this is one of the nicer parts of the Squish Squish walk. Because at least this part I ain't got to worry about snakes as much and cottonmouths. Like I said, I got no hate for the workers doing this. Much as I wish they would stop. I understand me telling you to stop means that your kids don't get fed or you don't get your penance of a salary. So I get it. You can't stop. I just wish that our corporate overlords would realize you can't eat money, and eventually destroying the planet on which we live will end up being our own death sentence. Pretty foothill. The lonely foothill. Used to be several. I guess they decided we didn't need foothills as much as we needed hoity-toity ass neighborhoods. Like I said, that's my problem, is you're destroying the natural world around us for the temporary pleasure of somebody's ego. Build better, do better, build sustainable. Stop thinking about just ourselves. Start thinking about your kids and your grandkids. Those fuckers can't read. Why? Because we failed them. We can say it was the government, and yeah, it was the government too, but we also failed them. Every time you decided that you had to go to work rather than reading your kid a bedtime story, Every time you decided to put their needs on the back burner because your boss needed you and you needed the job. And again, I'm not like it. Y'all, it's a fucked if you do, fucked if you don't scenario. That's why I'm an anti-capitalist. That's why I am for controlling the wealthy, because you know what happens when you control the wealthy? Everyone benefits. When the dragons are brought to heel, all of the citizens benefit. But so long as we pick our favorite Nepo baby child rapist dragon, Elon Musk, Donald Trump, take your pick of the Nepo dumbasses, we're just going to keep getting the same thing. More hurt people, more nonsense, and more dipshits lying to you, trying to keep you angry at minorities who can't really hurt you. Like I said, be smarter, be stronger. Work together within your communities to fight this crap. And stay strong, brothers and sisters, because you aren't alone. Yesterday was 20 miles. The day before that was about 15. Today's going to be about probably 10 or 11. Maybe more, maybe less, because if I get to the actual cleaning portion of the day, where I walk with my bucket and collect trash off the side of the road, that would definitely add at least 5 or 10 miles to it. But that's the thing also, I don't just collect the aluminum. Only time I do that is if I'm heading straight into town to the recycle center. Typically, when I'm hiking with my buckets, I collect everything that's non-biodegradable. But that's because if I don't do it, who else is? The slaves our city enforces? I don't like working and living under slavery. I'd rather do the job myself than have a slave do it. But that's just me. Maybe my morals are higher than some. Either way, y'all, I gotta put the camera down for a minute because we're about to go walking through. Like I said, they never rest. Y'all be good, do something good. And hey, remember what I said, it ain't the workers' fault they're tearing this shit up. It's their dumbass bosses that don't think about nature more than what they can benefit off of it. Don't be mad at the workers. They're just as bad off as we are. Y'all be good. Do something good for somebody out there. We'll see you later.